Let's take a more in-depth look at solving equations by taking the square root. So just to recap, if we have x squared equals 9, we can do the square root of both sides, and we'll get that square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 9 is positive or negative 3. So we have the solutions positive 3 and negative 3. Okay, we could use the same method if we have something like this. X plus 5 squared equals 9. So again, to get rid of the squared here, rather than multiplying this out, let's just take the square root of both sides. We'll be left with just x plus 5, and then the square root of 9, just like above, is positive or negative 3. But we didn't solve for x yet. We have to get x by itself, so we have to subtract 5 from both sides. So now we have x is, I'm just going to write the order as negative 5 plus or minus 3. So we have two answers, negative 5 plus 3 and negative 5 minus 3. So let's solve both of these or evaluate them both. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. So our solution set is negative 2, negative 8. Let's look at this one. X plus 7 squared equals 36. So same thing, do the square root of both sides. Get rid of that squared. We have x plus 7 equals the square root of 36, which is positive or negative 6. Now solve for x, minus 7 minus 7. X is negative 7 plus or minus 6. So we have negative 7 plus 6, or negative 7 minus 6. So this will give us negative 1. This will give us negative 13. And this is the solution set. If we had a different equation, such as x plus 2 squared minus 3 equals, let's say, 11, what we have to do here is first get this squared part by itself. So here, let's change this. Let's actually make this 13 so it works out. So to do that, we have to get rid of this minus 3. So let's add 3 to both sides. X plus 2 squared equals 16. Then do the square root of both sides. So now, just like before, with x plus 2 equals positive or negative 4. Solve for x, minus 2 minus 2. We're going to get x equals negative 2 plus or minus 4. So we'll have two answers, either negative 2 plus 4 or negative 2 minus 4. So we'll have 2 and negative 6. Let's see what happens if I didn't change this to 13. If it was 11. So there's nothing wrong with solving this problem. Just I knew that we'd get regular integers here if this number was 13. But let's see what happens if I kept it out as 11. So to solve this equation, we're going to go through the same steps. We have to get this x plus 2 squared by itself. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. So I have x plus 2 squared equals 14. So now to get solve for x, we have to get rid of the squared. So do square root. X plus 2 equals positive or negative radical 14. So we can't take the square root here. So it's just plus or minus radical 14. Then minus 2 minus 2. X is negative 2 plus or minus radical 14. And then that's going to be our answer choices, or our solutions. Negative 2 plus radical 14 and negative 2 minus radical 14.